Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
$50 million is put back into Alberta post-secondary education.
I'm appreciative wherever and whenever we receive additional funds.
A free online course at the University of Alberta is gaining attention.
It's worked out a lot better than I thought it would. And whereas I was a bit skeptical before, I'm not skeptical anymore.
And the federal government grants $7.5 million to concussion research.
Probably could have, but I wasn't aware of concussions when I was younger. I know I had 2 when I'm in hockey.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. The provincial government has announced it is reinvesting millions back into post-secondary education.
This comes after huge cuts to the institutions in the spring budget. Lauren Fink is covering the story and has more from our news center.
After months of cost-cutting measures, post-secondary institutions were given some great news Wednesday, a boost of $50 million.
The reinvestment restores about 1/3 of the $147 million that were chopped in the March budget and will be split among the 20 institutes that were affected by those cuts, including the University of Alberta and NAIT here in Edmonton. The institutes will decide which programs the money goes towards, but it is earmarked solely for alleviating enrollment pressures.
Students, in a way, will get to vote with their feet where the money goes, because where the applications go, that's where the money will go.
Before this week's announcement, some schools were coping with the previous budget cut by making and acting upon plans to admit fewer students, suspend several programs, and let go of staff members.
Even after the March cut, we are still the second highest funded advanced education system in Canada. So you have to put it in perspective. Was it difficult? It was. But relevant to other provinces, are we doing well? Exceptionally well.
While the $147 million cuts to education left post-secondary institutions scrambling, the reinvestment of $50 million is a step in the right direction for institutions like NAIT.
It matters a great deal to NAIT. We've always used our scarce resources in ways that really benefited our students and enhanced the student experience. This reinvestment back into post-secondary is just going to allow us to focus even more on that.
The $50 million is being divided amongst the schools by adding 2.6% worth of funding onto the school's operating grant. NAIT will be receiving 3.7 of the $50 million, and the U of A will receive 14.4.
The money has been dispersed to the schools, and it is expected to be used as early as January. Good news to those applying for winter courses. Where will NAIT be using the new investment? Dr. Feltham says that NAIT's goal is to maintain being essential in Alberta, and that's how they're going to be using the money.
And Lauren, where is the money that the government is giving us coming from?
Well, the money's coming from taxpayers, as well as an unexpected increase in royalty revenues and revenues in the province. Thank you, Lauren. That was Lauren Fink reporting live from our news center.
News, entertainment, sports. You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
Free online courses are now being offered in hundreds of universities across North America.
The U of A is offering a massive open online course, otherwise known as MOOC, for paleontology. Students can learn skills online from anywhere in the world. Our Anastasia Goddard joins us from the University of Alberta with more.
More than 20,000 people are currently enrolled in the course at the U of A worldwide, and the response so far has been positive.
People have liked taking the course, they've enjoyed the content, and they've actually done very well in the exams as well.
Most MOOCs are introductory courses that are free and open, allowing anyone, anywhere to take the course. The paleontology course at the U of A, Dino 101, has 2 counterparts, however, that offer the same syllabus to students and give credit when completed. These online courses allow students to go through and progress at their own rate.
Basically, the students just go through the MOOC, but they do have to pay tuition, and the net result of that is that they also get credit for the course.
There are skeptics, however, who say the student-teacher interaction isn't there. But Dr. Philip Curry says that most introductory courses offered at the U of A are usually large in size, making the student-teacher interaction rare anyways.
Although they do have no credits, that also means that you can just take things that you're interested in without having to worry about will it affect your GPA or will it cost you thousands of dollars.
Dino 101 is easily accessible, free, and offers students an interactive experience, which includes lecture videos, quizzes, and final exams. The U of A hopes these courses encourage students into continuing their education.
So when we look at the big future, I hope that we can see a future where other institutions in Alberta are offering Dino 101 to their kids.
The potential of this new learning environment is infinite, and as for the U of A, students can expect to see more MOOC courses in the near future.
Thanks, Anna. That's Anastasia Goddard reporting from the University of Alberta.
The Canadian government is launching a multi-million-dollar study in response to the growing concerns surrounding brain injuries. $7.5 million is being given to new and ongoing research projects. Current projects are on how concussions affect adults, whereas the new ones are based on how youth are affected mentally by concussions, due to the large number of young people that are sustaining these injuries in contact sports.
Probably my worst one was about 2 years ago. We were playing SAIT. I got hit from behind, my head went into the glass, and I was out unconscious on the ice for about 45 seconds.
The goal of this grant is not to deter children from playing contact sports, but instead to help doctors better diagnose children with concussions.
Local heroes are being recognized this week for their courageous acts. The Royal Canadian Humane Society presented more than 20 medals for acts of bravery.
And to thank them for their service to the greater good.
Bernice Jingling's great-granddaughter Tiara accepted an award on her behalf. Jingling pushed Tiara out of the way of being struck by an SUV. The Honourable Thomas Lukazik, was dropping off his children at school when he saw the incident and rushed over to help Jingling. Bernice Jingling succumbed to her injuries in hospital.
It's really humbling, particularly knowing that, in my opinion, I haven't done anything that anyone of you wouldn't have done.
Adam Shaw was also recognized for rescuing 2 girls from the North Saskatchewan River with his dog Rocky. 24 people were recognized, including 7 members of the Edmonton Police Service.
Those still inside.
More than 100 men pledged to take a stand against domestic violence to kick off Family Prevention Month in Alberta.
I pledge to never use violence in my relationships and to work with other men and boys to join women in taking action to end violence.
Alberta currently has the 2nd highest rate of domestic violence in Canada. Family Violence Prevention Month started in 1986 and is an ongoing initiative that aims to combat domestic abuse.
But the fact that we are working together to end this problem. In other words, this isn't a sad moment. This is a moment for celebration.
Monday's event at City Hall focused on asking men to be aware of domestic violence.
The first snowfall of the season kept most Edmontonians indoors until they had to leave for work Monday morning. However, City of Edmonton roadway maintenance crews had over 90 pieces of equipment on the roads and worked overnight Saturday and through the day Sunday to clear the roads for Monday morning traffic. Arterial roads, bridges, and hills were naturally top priority and will continue to be the first roads addressed all season.
Well, the response time, of course, is we respond immediately to any snowfall with starting with the sanders and then gradually moving the plows as you get any accumulation of snowfall.
The city still advises drivers to adjust their driving for the road conditions, reminding motorists of safe following distances, properly clearing vehicles of ice and snow, and careful braking as winter is here to stay.
The Alberta government announced a new legislation that may ban smoking in cars with children, stop the use of water pipes in public, and ban flavored tobacco. Earlier in the week, medical students were at the legislature asking for the government to ban flavored tobacco and more specifically for a ban on menthol. There were 53 students from the University of Alberta and University of Calgary that met with the provincial health minister and MLAs to discuss flavored tobacco. The provincial government is currently looking at placing restrictions on the tobacco, making it less appealing to youth. However, the students would rather see an all-out ban.
Essentially, it's when you're chatting about there's different flavors. Will this include menthol? Will it not include menthol? So those are all the things that we really do want to impress upon, is that we really would like to see an all-outright ban on all flavorings in tobacco products.
Bowthorpe says many young people are getting addicted to the flavors, and they hope a ban would lessen the appeal to youth.
The Alberta legislature hosted a service of remembrance to commemorate the lives lost in war. The The Alberta Legislature Rotunda was filled with Albertans of every generation to remember those who have fought in wars. Premier Alison Redford keynoted the legislature's service, as well as leaders in her opposition. A number of MLAs also attended to pay their respects to Canada's fallen.
So many people in our province have been touched through people in our families and our communities who have made the ultimate sacrifice, not only for Canada, but for people around the world.
A Remembrance Day service will be held Monday at 10:15 at City Hall.
Different colored poppies are causing controversy this Remembrance Day.
White poppy says, let's have peace. So I see them as complementary, not mutually exclusive.
Many students in Ottawa are currently wearing the white peace poppy on their lapels. White poppies were previously offered at Earth's General Store in Edmonton, but were pulled off the shelves when they were threatened with legal action from the Royal Canadian Legion.
Cannot we honor those soldiers? Can we not also try to achieve what they died for, and that is to have peace? And what the white poppy says, let's have peace.
The traditional red remembrance poppy has been used since 1920 to commemorate soldiers who have died in war.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at how some get sick from eating foods with gluten.
See how people have to deal with celiac disease.
One little crumb from a glutinous piece of bread on my bread will make me sick. It's a crumb.
Coming up in sports, I look at the changeup for the Edmonton Eskimos, and I take a shot at archery.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lenchuka, and there's a bit of a cold snap coming to Alberta. I'll have all that and more coming up in weather.
Edmonton seems to be getting quite a bit of snow this season.
Isn't that right, Sarah? It's about time for us to start wearing those layers. Let's check in with Kyle Lenchuka, who has more on the weather. Kyle?
Well, it looks like we won't be expecting any more snow over the weekend, but we are going to be having some very low temperatures. In Calgary, we're going to have a bit of a dip down with high of -3 and a low of -6. It'll be mainly cloudy with a 60% chance of snow. Jasper is going to start off cold, then get warmer with a high of -2 and a low of -14. It'll be mainly sunny with a 0% chance of snow. Fort McMurray is going to receive some cold wind coming in from the north with a high of -11 and a low of -24. It's going to be sunny with a 0% chance of snow. Edmonton is going to be fairly cold with a high of -6 and a low of -13. It'll be partly cloudy with a 0% chance of snow. Edmonton's average low so far has been 1 degree, while our average high has been 7 degrees. Our record low in Edmonton has been -30 in 1940, and our record high has been 17 degrees in 2005.
Weather sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
Well, are you guys planning on doing anything over the weekend for sports?
Maybe not this weekend. I'm waiting for a little bit more snow before I hit the slopes. How about you, Kelsey?
I'm right with you there, unless it's an impromptu trip up to Marmot, but I don't think that's happening this weekend.
Thanks, Kyle.
A healthy lifestyle is what many people aim for, but some people have no other choice.
Our reporter, D'Artagnan Johnson, looks into the ever-growing life of gluten-free living.
Bread, chips, and pizza are common foods found in most people's diets. But these foods, and others that contain wheat, oats, and rye, all include a protein called gluten. Gluten, which often gives food a chewy texture, is known for causing celiac disease in people of all ages. According to Canadian Celiac Association, 1 every 130 people in Canada are affected by the disease, which causes fatigue and stomach pain.
If you have this autoimmune disease, you develop your immune response in your GI tract, causes the villi lining the small bowel to flatten and become damaged. And when they're damaged, you don't have sites for absorption of nutrients.
Alicia Durrett was diagnosed at the age of 25. Durrett believes that her diet of daily bread while living in Spain for a year contributed to developing the disease. One of the biggest struggles for Durrett was finding a restaurant that specialized in gluten-free food. So she created La Olivia, a gluten-free catering service. Durrett explains that worry of cross-contamination is always on the mind of a person living with celiac disease.
I was telling my friend the other day, I can't use the same toaster as him because one little crumb from a glutinous piece of bread on my bread will make me sick.
In Canada, all food that contains gluten over 10 milligrams must be clearly labeled on the product. Gluten, however, can be found in many non-food items including cosmetics, dog food, and sunscreen. Doctors advise all people with celiac to read all labels of substances that touch or enter your body. As of now, there is no cure for celiac disease, so doctors just recommend living a gluten-free lifestyle. D'Artagnan Johnson, NAIT NewsWatch.
Brianne Sakowicz now joins us for sports. So in team bullying seems to be getting a lot of attention right now.
That's right. I have a look at the Miami Dolphins controversy, but first, NAIT Ooks men's hockey. The NAIT Ooks tried to get a win last Friday after Wednesday's loss against the Augustana Vikings. First period. The Vikings' Matthew Foster tallies the first goal after finding the rebound and tapping it home. The Ooks tie the game near the end of the first period. Colton Yarimovic goes top shelf, beating the Vikings. Second period. The Ooks take the lead early in the second period with a nice goal from Jamie Johnson. The Vikings answer back with 3 goals. Scott O'Card and Devin Hobbs both score on breakaway chances. The score would be 4-2 at the end of the second frame. Third period. Ooks Ty Carey delivers a bone-crushing hit on Vikings' Daryl Gagon. Gagon would need assistance to get back to his bench. Ooks Josh Lazowski puts one top shelf to put the game within 1. Viking Jeremy Burns drills Zach MacArthur into the boards, leaving MacArthur face down on the ice to need help to get back to the bench. The Vikings would take this one 4-3.
Practice our defensive game, and I think next time we'll come a little more prepared defensively against these guys.
With the CFR in town, the Edmonton Oil Kings have hit the road. The Oil Kings got stranded on the side of the QE2 after the team got a flat tire. On Sunday, the Oil Kings took on the Calgary Hitmen. The Oil Kings beat the Hitmen 4-2. Cody Corbett would open the scoring in Vancouver, and the Oil Kings would get their first ever win there with a 3-0 victory. Jari would make 37 saves to get the second shutout of the season. The team headed to Victoria to face the Royals. Henrik Samuelsson would get 3 points and Jari would get back-to-back shutouts. The Oil Kings dethroned the Royals 5-0. The Oil Kings' next home game is against Moose Jaw on Thursday. After a win in their final game of the regular season against the Rough Riders last week, the Edmonton Eskimos came home for one final meeting and to clean out their lockers. The Eskimos would end their season with a 4-14 record. The team dealt with key players being injured as linebacker J.C. Sherritt was out for weeks with a broken thumb, and star receiver Fred
We had a young team this year. We're rebuilding from the beginning, and I know we're, as players, looking forward to moving forward with where we're going in the future and where we're going to build off of from this year.
You know, we have a very young team, but the good thing is we get to rebuild, you know, and come back for next year and be ready.
With the season cut short for the team, the Eskimos are already looking forward to next season. The Edmonton Eskimos will have a new head coach next season. Kavis Reed has been the Eskimo coach for the past 3 seasons, and the Eskimos never advanced past the Western Finals with Reed at helm. Hervey wants to build confidence in the Eskimos by building a winning atmosphere.
My plan is to appoint a head coach that will bring a structured environment, a unified coaching staff, in addition to having the capacity to develop players.
With Hervey already having candidates in mind for the position, we can expect a coach when Hervey feels he has found the right man to lead the team into the 2014 season. With the recent controversy with the Miami Dolphins, in-team bullying has been coming to the forefront. Second-year offensive tackle Jonathan Martin has recently taken a leave of absence from the Dolphins because of alleged bullying by teammate Richie Incognito. Incognito has been suspended indefinitely while the allegations against him are investigated. Recent tweets from Dolphin players have shed some light on the issue. Jaron Oakridge tweeted a picture of lavish meals saying, quote, "It tastes better when the rookies are paying." Will Davis tweets the same night, "I just saw a bill for $30,000, #rookie night." Ooks head coach makes it clear that bullying will not be tolerated on his team.
To be very clear in terms of what a good teammate looks like, what a good student athlete looks like, an ambassador of NAIT, how they behave, their actions, their words.
In-team bullying is something that should be brought to the attention of the coaches and staff the minute it starts happening and should never be tolerated. With Catching Fire coming out soon, I decided to channel my inner Katniss Everdeen in this week's End Zone Challenge. After watching The Hunger Games and Princess Diaries 2, I thought archery would be a piece of cake, so I went to Spruce Grove's Trophy Book Archery to give it a try. After being taught the safety precautions and the basics of shooting, it was time to give it a shot. I took the position, got the arrow in place, and got ready to fire, and I would miss the target completely. After a few attempts with a traditional bow and getting closer to the bullseye, I switched over to a compound bow to try a few shots, which showed exactly how much strength I had. None. David would have to help me draw the bow back both times.
When you're ready, look. There you go, and it's off.
I switched back to the traditional bow and we decided to try something different by putting a balloon up. Little did we know I could shoot best when I couldn't see the target.
There you go.
Archery is a sport anyone can do and be taught, and you will be good at it if you have the skills needed.
So mainly skills requires your upper body strength and mental focus. So you need to focus on every single shot. The upper body is more mainly in the shoulders and the arms, being able to pull your bow back and hold it steady for sometimes several seconds.
Archery is a great skill to learn if you're into hunting, or even if you just want a new hobby. So archery was a lot more difficult than I anticipated.
Do you think you're ready to join the Hunger Games then, Brianne?
Definitely not.
Maybe after a few more lessons, you'll be good to go.
Maybe, we'll see.
Thanks, Brianne.
Coming up after the break, we help university students deal with stress.
We decide to introduce them to some furry little friends.
Really, it was a good mental break.
Coming up in entertainment, it's the CFR kickoff, and we're about to go riding on some bulls.
Haircut and color provided by Ivory Noir, Edmonton's first color correction salon.
With the semester coming to a close, stress can be a major issue for some university students.
We headed down to the University of Alberta to help students de-stress with a few furry companions. Chimo volunteers and their friendly animals visit hospitals and schools to help people de-stress and maybe even help them make a new friend. In 2011, a study at the University of Alberta found that 87% of students felt overwhelmed and exhausted.
I feel happier, so I feel energized again. Take on the day. Yeah, I think it's the perfect break, just so I can get back to studying and really, it was a good mental break.
We helped make sure that the service animals were keeping hydrated so they could focus on making students' days a little brighter. We also made sure that the area was kept tidy so everyone could cuddle the friendly animals safely. NAIT students who are facing stress or anxiety can get more information at nait.ca/counseling.
The Canadian Finals Rodeo is in town this week. Yeehaw!
And Vince Vaughn stars in a new movie that will get you laughing. Effie at Mensa has more in entertainment.
The Canadian Finals Rodeo is back and it kicks off its 40th annual rodeo at the West Edmonton Mall.
This event brought in rodeo fans from all over Canada to help start off the week. The kickoff introduces the top 107 Canadian cowboys and girls to make it to the finals.
This also gives fans a chance to meet and get autographs from their favorite riders. The week consists of 5 different competitions, including bull riding, bareback riding, roping, and barrel racing.
Rodeos were originally not considered as a sporting event. It was actually part of cattle wrangling. It later became popular in the 1880s in the Western Hemisphere. Now it's one of Canada's most celebrated events.
Over the course of the week, a total of $1 million will be given as prizes. $11,000 will be awarded after each event and round. But most people, like Krana, say it's not about the money, but the passion she's always had.
It's something that you work towards for your whole life. It's a dream and a goal, and you just work to it until you get to it. And you just hope that you find that one horse that's going to pack you to as far as you want to go and to the level that you want to go.
The event finished off with a live performance from Canadian country star Aaron Pichette and his son. The CFR is being held at Rexall Place from November 6th to the 10th. If you'd like to catch it tomorrow, you can go on the CFR website to get your tickets.
For CFR, we head over to the Northlands where a private event was held for children with special needs to fulfill their dreams of living like a cowboy or girl.
3, 2, 1.
150 children from Edmonton Public Schools came together to learn what it takes to be part of the rodeo. There were several activities for the children to enjoy, including horse racing, tractor riding, a petting zoo of small ponies. Some children could not wait to get started. I can't wait to go on the ride. This event gave children the opportunity to interact with some of the rodeo contestants, clowns, and some cute friends. I thought cats were the only ones that didn't like water, but it turns out some dogs don't either.
You want a bath? I can't believe he's not like.
Aw, I wish I had a dog that I could give a bath to and see how it turns out. That's all for entertainment this week. I'm Effie at Mensa.
Thanks, Effie. You can catch us online at naitnewswatch.ca, where we're always posting our new episodes.
And if not, you can catch us on Twitter at NAIT NewsWatch. Have a great long weekend.
Thanks for watching.